Video. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi Towards. And shalom to the brothers out there that's forwarding this ministry, and as well as giving salutations to y'all as well that are exhorting Yahawah with this ministry, and even unto the brothers and a few of the sisters on the side that support us as well. Alright, so let's get into it. This is the book of Hebrews 4 verse 1. Lest us therefore fear, lest the promise being left us of entering to his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. So it says, let us therefore fear. And this is the attitude we have to undertake while serving the Lord, is to fear him. Like, what does it say in the scripture? In the book of Proverbs, it says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom and understanding of him. And as well as it keeps you from harm's way, as usual. But, among us that know that they're Israelites, they don't have this kind of attitude. They have the attitude of just doing whatever they want and saying whatever they want. Like, I just caught onto a couple of replies to the video that of this individual from the ISSACHAR camp, Gautamalans. He said he don't care what Mark has to say. And previously, before that, the leader of that camp, Al-Azhar, he basically declared that he has an issue with Paul's teachings. So these men, just briefly, explains that they don't fear the Lord. Alright? That's a commandment, is to fear the Lord. There's so many scriptures. When you type in the terms fear the Lord, it comes up so many times. So if it's coming up that many times from the Old Testament to the New Testament, then that's the highly essential thing that we should be doing. All of us put together. All of us that know that we're Israelites. We should be having the attitude of fearing the Lord. Now let's read this again. Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. Exactly. Verse 2, for unto us was the gospel preached. As well, let me back this mic up a little bit, because it may be a bit too much. Yeah, so it reads, for unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. And that's another element you have to have, is faith. And, it's not really up to you have faith or not. It's really a gift. And if you have that element, which is faith, then highly likely you're going to persevere into salvation. If you don't have that, then there's a highly likely chance that you're not of the elect. Now, you have brothers in the truth that have a little faith, like the parable of the mustard seed. Yeah, here we have it right here. This is Matthew 17 verse 20. And Yahawah said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, not as a seed of an avocado seed. He didn't say that. He said as a grain of a mustard seed, which is the smallest seeds. Right? Ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So even with a little amount of faith, if you believe even with that little amount of faith, you can actually work wonders with that. Okay? Because not every brother is going to have a large amount of faith. You're going to have some of us is going to have, a low amount of faith. But that doesn't necessarily mean that individual is not of the elect. I showed you with a little faith, you can move a mountain, as what Yahawah said. Okay? And, there's going to come a time where this brother may fall on hard times, and he may be having a moment of doubting, but that's for a brother with a strong amount of faith to come and exhort that brother in the spirit. Because we're a body, we're supposed to help one another out, whether it's physically or whether it's spiritually. Okay, and the way that we help you out, especially to the brothers that are weak in the faith, weaker than other brothers, is by constantly bringing out this word as we do so. Whether it's in the indoors or whether it's in the outdoors. But even to the brothers that have a large amount of faith, we may fall on hard times too, because we're all men in the flesh. All right. So again, this is why we supposed to be staying in the scriptures and constantly keep bringing out the precepts. As Paul said, what did Paul also say? He said to exhort one another daily with these words. I'm roughly paraphrasing that, right? I lightly butchered that. But anyway, let's continue on and read verse 2. It says, for unto us was the gospel preached, and as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. And as well as the apostle Paul explained or aired out the men that was among him that fell away from the belief of Yahawashi as he had believed in himself. And just like how you have it today, you have these apostate churches that are round about us, airing out doctrines that really have no place in the gospel whatsoever. Coming up with new versions of what they call the truth, which there's no versions of truth. There's only one truth of all, which is above all and all of us all together. All right, there's one faith, there's one baptism, and there's one power, which is above us all. You see? So there's no different versions, but these guys, they're what you call a bunch of fallouts, the apostated churches that have left the faith that was within them at one time. And, they wind up formulating churches that's pretty much not ridden with the Holy Spirit, but rather the spirit of the spiritual demon Satan instead. Okay, and I'm going to name names. I'm talking about the Sakari camp. I'm talking about the IUIC. I'm talking about all of these other camps, which was once upon a time down with the original gospel that was taught to them through the men that they came under. They left, and now they're doing their thing on the left hand side and bringing out way left, down south doctrines, man. So anyway, enough of that. Let's read verse 3. For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundations of the world. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, and the Most High did rest the seventh day from all of his works. And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in because of unbelief. So how are we going to enter into this rest officially? By laboring, by doing the work. Because you can't enter into your rest without doing the work. You have to do the work to enter into the rest. What is the rest? The kingdom of heaven. So, those that left us, they're not going to enter into the rest. They're going to come into the kingdom the other way, and that being the case of them coming back through our loins and being blessed in the kingdom that way. But the men which will enter, which will experience entering into that promise, or should I say entering into the kingdom of heaven, which is really the rest, the elect are going to see that because they've labored. So in order for you to enter into that rest, it takes labor. Okay, just like it says in the book of Proverbs somewhere, it says, despise not laborer's work. And the laborer's work is towards his gospel, which will lead us to our salvation. So let's continue to read verse 6. Seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in because of unbelief. And again, he limited a certain day, saying in David today, after so long a time, as it is said today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts. If Yahawashi had given them rest, then would have spoken of another day. Exactly. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High, which are Israelites only. For he that is entered into his rest, he also have ceased from his own works, as the Most High did from his. Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. All right, so There's no time right now for rest. As it reads, I believe it's somewhere in the book of Isaiah where it says, I'm thinking about the scripture, man. I don't want to butcher the scripture. But it goes like this. Give no silence unto the Lord until he raises up Jerusalem. And Israel is made a praise on the face of the earth. I just butchered it a little bit. Roughly paraphrasing that. So there's no time for rest. And when we do enter into our rest, we're going to be resting for eternity. So right now, as it stands, we should be hunkering down, doing this work. And then when the kingdom of heaven is set up, we can rest. We can rest all day, every day, man. All right. This is verse 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing of sunders of soul and spirit, and the joint and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and the intent of the heart. And this is why people like Vocab Malone and even the men among us that don't really want to follow the true, genuine way, when we actually show them that they're going off on the scriptures and we rebuke them with the scriptures, it affects them greatly. It messes with their consciousness. That's how powerful this word is. This word is so powerful, it can break you down to the bone gristle, man. And that's why Vocab Malone, once upon a time or another, as I can remember when he first started out messing with us, he was so optimistic, man. He really thought that he could just be this one and only man. The one like when you watch the film The Matrix, where Neo was told, which was played by this guy, what's his name, man? Keanu Reeves. And in that film, all of the characters in the film said that he was the one, he was the chosen one, right? So Vocab, when he came into this path of trying to demolish our faith, he really thought and believed that he was the one and only. And he still kind of believes that, man, but you can see that his belief is dwindling on the regards of trying to demolish this truth that we have. He's realizing that it's not working, man. And it's affected him so much, and him researching us, that he started growing his beard. He went from having a baby face. His face was smoother than the baby's ass, as the saying goes. So this word influences you, man. Because that's what we do. All we do is teach the word. We don't have a unique doctrine of our own that came out of the side of our neck. Like, our doctrine is based on the scriptures. That's all we bring out is the scriptures. Yeah, so let's continue on, man. Let's read this again. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing of sunders of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and the intent of the heart. All right, so there you go on that. So it says, neither is there any creature that is not manifested in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do. Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Yahawah, the Son of the Most High, let us hold fast our profession. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin, which is all reverence in Yahawah. Okay? So just to go back and read, not really read, but I just want to elaborate on verse 13. It says, neither is there any creature that is not manifested in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto his eyes of him with whom we have to do. So with that being said, we're supposed to be diligently found doing the work and being diligent and constantly meditating on this gospel, so that we don't fall short of it or fall away from it at all. Excuse me. Because the Lord is watching all of us. And as you brothers know in the faith, the Lord is taking everything into account, whether it be good or bad. Everything's being taken into account. As it reads, neither is there any creature that is not manifested in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto his eyes of him with whom we have to do. So the Lord sees everything. Verse 14, seeing then that we have a great high priest This is who Al-Azhar wants to be. That is passed into the heaven. And that's why he doesn't really accept Yahawashi. Their doctrine isn't really based on Yahawashi. It's based on what it is that they feel and what they think. Hence is why Gautamalans said it himself, I don't care what Mark has to say. So you already know that these men, they're not pushing Yahawashi. They're not exalting Yahawashi, because they're not following up with what he is saying anyway. You know, as it is written that the Lord is spoken of through the volume of the whole book, and the whole book is written of him. So if you're having an issue with a couple of books in the scriptures, you're not going along with what Yahawashi is all about, man. Okay? And telling men to not idolize Yahawashi, but rather serve the Creator. But the Creator wants his son to be served, as it is written in the book of Philippians chapter 2, verse 10, that he's given his son a name above all of the living. Okay? And that every knee should bow to him. So that's what the Father wants. The Father wants him to be reverenced. And once we reverence his son, we also reverence the Father's will as well. Okay? As Yahawashi said, Yahawashi made it very clear in John 14 verse 7 that he's at one with his Father. And when Philip asked him to show the Father, Yahawashi then in return told him, and said, look, if you see me, you've seen the Father. Me and my Father are one. Okay, and I do all things through the power of my Father. I'm roughly paraphrasing what he said there. So there you go. Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Yahawashi, the Son of the Most High, let us hold fast our profession. Like it also reads in the book of Revelations. So it reads, Revelations 3 verse 1, and the angel of the church in Sardis write, these things saith he that have the 7 spirits of the Most High and the 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou livest and art dead. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain, that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before the Most High. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Which is going all the way back to the book of, I believe it's in the book of Matthews, where Yahawashi reverenced himself as a thief. And if the good man, and he also gave a parable, that was a parable anyway, and he also said that the good men will be the ones to be watching for the thief to come. So how do you, in other words, watch for the thief to come also? Not only just by paying attention to what's going on around the world, but also keeping your mind into the scriptures. So there you go. But there's another scripture that I'm thinking about too that's quite similar to this. It's probably down in Revelations 3 still. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this is it right here. So as it reads, verse 11, behold, verse 10, we'll begin by reading verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from thy temptation, which shall come upon all of the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. So again, in other words, you're supposed to clutch the scriptures, man, in your mind, and don't let it go. Constantly meditate on the scriptures. And just talking about what Paul was saying in the book of, I believe it's in the book of Timothy or somewhere, where Paul made mention of the names, where he mentioned the names of men that was amongst them and that fell away because they lost faith. And even the men that were amongst us, even in this age, they fell away because they didn't really believe in the scriptures. their belief and their faith dwindled apart. And these men have left, never to be seen again. Or if they left, they would come back around and formulating doctrines and setting up their own camp after a false doctrine. And that would then be also the case as well as we have it. You have, an individual such as Al-Azhar and the ITR guys, they were down with us at one time, and they're falling away. They actually fell away from this thing that we have, this true, genuine gospel, to concocting some other gospel and formulating camps after this particular doctrine that they have formed. Falsely teaching. And what's going to be the repercussions for all of that? They're going to be destroyed. And I also want to get the book of Romans 14. Romans 14. Excuse me, the keyboard is acting up. Yeah, Romans 14 verse, I think it's 23. Yeah, so it reads, and he that, want to get to the point. I read verse 22. As thou faith, have it to thyself before the Most High. Happy is he that condemneth not himself in that thing which he alloweth, and he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin. So it's a transgression to not have faith. It's a sin to not have any faith, basically. So the men that left this truth and went back into the world, and as well as those that left the truth and started formulating other doctrines, they also lost faith. And what's going to be the repercussions of that? Let's get the book of Revelations 21 verse 8. So this reads, but to the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and the whoremongers and the sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So even just you being an unbeliever, you're going to fall under the same judgment as the abominable, the murderers, the whoremongers, and the sorcerers, and the idolaters, and all the liars. Just based on you not believing. Just by you not believing, you can fall under that umbrella of these men and receive the same judgment, which the judgment is going to be nuclear destruction. So we're in a situation, man, where we have to have faith and believe in this thing, man. There's no other option but to believe. So now let's go and read right, let's read this once again, back to Hebrews 4 verse 14. Once again, seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Yahawah, the Son of the Most High, let us hold fast our profession, as I went through previous scriptures and shown why we must hold fast our profession. All right. And as I've read in the book of Revelation 3 verse 10, it reads that if we hold fast the word of the Lord, then the Lord will keep us from the hour of temptation. Hebrews 4 verse 15. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin, because he was also in the flesh, as well as we are in the flesh now. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. So how do you come boldly unto the throne of grace? By doing the work in the highways and the hedges where people can see you. So that's how you're boldly showcasing and demonstrating your faith towards your Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. That's how you're boldly coming onto the throne of grace. By putting yourself on Front Street, giving a sacrifice. As it is written that our bodies are as living sacrifices. As I'm roughly paraphrasing that. Alright, so that's all I want to read on this. I want to first and foremost give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahawah. Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Yahawashi Towards. And you know, before I close, I want to look up this word boldly. So the word is on meta. On mata.
Strong's G 3326. Meta. Meta.
Right. Means doesn't say much really. With, after, behind. Let's look at the Strong's. Yeah, it's not really saying. Yeah, it's not really. Oh yeah, we have yeah. Hence, hereafter, end of setting and setting since. Yeah, it doesn't really go into too much, man. It's not really saying much of anything, but. Like I said, you know, the way that we come boldly onto the throne of grace is by hearing the word and putting everything aside that we was going to do in the world and coming into the labor force of the men of the Lord that came before us and laboring, furthering this ministry. And hopefully through that, that's how we'll labor into our rest. So with that, I want to give all the praise and the glory to the Most High and the Son. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Yahawashi Towards. With that, I say shalom.